Hey there, if you're thinking about retirement and wondering if Emerald Isle is the perfect place to settle down, you're in the right place. In today's video, I am breaking down the pros and cons of retiring here so you can decide if it's the best fit for your golden years. This place is not for everyone, so stick around to the end where I share a concern that should make all retirees pay attention. My name is Dennis Richkovsky, and if you are new to my channel, I am your local real estate expert here in Emerald Isle. And if you want additional information about living in Emerald Isle or the real estate market, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, or book a one-on-one telephone coaching call with me by clicking on my calendar link in the description as well. Let's dive in. Let's start with some of the positives for moving to Emerald Isle in your retirement or golden years. First, there's unparalleled coastal beauty. Imagine waking up every morning like I do to the sound of the waves, to the smell of the ocean, and breathtaking sunrises. Emerald Isle is one of the only islands on the East Coast that has a south-facing beach. And what that means is that it offers a prevailing cool ocean breeze originating from the southwest. You can't get that cooling breeze anywhere else along the outer banks of North Carolina from Corolla to Ocracoke. And whether you enjoy walking the beach or fishing or just soaking up the sun, this is a paradise for nature lovers. From looking for birds to watching dolphins to simply enjoying the wildlife on a nature trail that you might take in the McLean Spell Forest. And if you're interested in that, I have an entire video devoted to that, and I'll leave a link in the description below for you to review that. Now let's talk about climate. Everyone wants to live their golden years in a comfortable climate. Well, one of the biggest perks about this place, Emerald Isle, no harsh winters. Emerald Isle is roughly 60 miles west of the Gulf Stream. In fact, Gulf Stream was the name the founders proposed for this town back in 1951. The Gulf Stream tempers our climate in a way no other Outer Bank town can boast. With a mild year-round climate, you can enjoy the outdoors without worrying about shoveling snow or bundling up in heavy coats. Summers are warm, to be sure, and a bit humid, but they are manageable thanks to that prevailing wind coming off the ocean from the southwest. And winters, well, they're typically mild thanks to the proximity of the Gulf Stream and usually very pleasant. For me, the sweet spots are spring and fall. A relaxed, small-town feel. Unlike some of the busier beach towns like Hatteras and Duck, Emerald Isle has a laid-back, small-town charm that makes it a peaceful place to retire. You get the beauty of a coastal community without the overwhelming crowds or high-rise development. In fact, several years ago, the town passed an ordinance stating that 40 feet is the maximum height for new construction. This guarantees that the Emerald Isle you live in will be familiar to your children and their children. No endless line of high-rise condominiums like in Ocean City, Maryland. All retirees are worried about cost. And let's look at the affordable cost of living here in Emerald Isle compared to other beach communities. Let's face it, coastal living is not inexpensive. Yet, Emerald Isle remains relatively affordable compared to places like Florida and California. Property taxes in North Carolina are also much lower than many other states, and it makes making it a smart financial choice for many, especially retirees. Moving to Emerald Isle means you don't have to slow down, and that's great when you're a retiree. Here you can stay active with bicycling, paddleboarding, kayaking, pickleball, and golf, along with tennis and walking. There are also numerous community events, local clubs like the Parrot Head Club, and numerous volunteer opportunities like the bi-monthly blood drives and sea turtle watches to keep you engaged. Now that I've discussed several of the pros for moving or living in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, let's review some of the cons. First, we have seasonal crowds. Usually that begins around mid-May when the first guests arrive from Ohio, and it usually ends in mid-September when many of the guests from the state of New York are leaving to go back home. So while Emerald Isle is a fairly peaceful community most of the year, the tourist season does bring extra visitors, especially between, like I said, Memorial Day and Labor Day. And if you prefer an absolute solitude, this could be a downside. But hey, it's nothing compared to the crowds in places like Myrtle Beach or other towns along the Outer Banks like Duck and Corolla and Hatteras. Another negative, at least for some folks, is limited shopping and dining. If you love big shopping malls or tons of restaurant options, you might find Emerald Isle a bit limited. We do have fantastic local spots, but for more extensive shopping or dining experiences, well, you'll have to drive to Jacksonville, about 30 miles away, or Raleigh or Durham, which are even further. We do have several lovely restaurants in town, very sophisticated, and two of them are Catherine's and Carib Sea. I recommend both highly. And then, of course, living by the coast comes with the reality of hurricane season. While building codes in Emerald Isle have been strengthened over the years, and while much of the island, like my neighborhood, Ocean Forest, which has elevations of 30 feet or more, it's important that you be prepared for hurricane storms and have solid insurance in place and be prepared for the occasional evacuation. The last time we had an evacuation was in 2018 for Hurricane Florence. Let's face it, you're going to need a car here. Public transportation is minimal, if non-existent. So having a car is essential, pretty much, for getting around town, running errands, or visiting nearby areas like Morehead City or Jacksonville, or driving to or getting to Raleigh or Durham for a cultural event. This isn't Bald Head Island where you get about in a golf cart. And now, as promised, here is my biggest concern for retirees moving here to Emerald Isle. It concerns healthcare. We have Carteret Healthcare 30 miles away in Morehead City, and Emerald Isle is close to other hospitals in New Bern and in Jacksonville. But if quality healthcare is a priority for your retirement, the closest tertiary and quaternary care facilities are in Raleigh and in Durham, some 3 hours inland. When my wife suffered acute pancreatitis back in 2018 and 19, we had to travel to Richmond, Virginia for treatment. That's 260 miles or just under 5 hours each way. My wife remained in Richmond for over 5 months, and while she recovered completely, those drives were extremely stressful for me, as you can imagine. So let's return to the main question. Is Emerald Isle the right place for you to retire? At the end of the day, Emerald Isle is an incredible place to retire. Ask my wife, she knows. So long as it aligns with your lifestyle. If you love the beach, you love a relaxed pace of life, and you don't mind some seasonal visitors, this could be your dream retirement spot. But if you crave big city amenities and have to avoid hurricane risk or need specialized health care, you might want to weigh your options carefully. So, could Emerald Isle be the perfect place for your retirement? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you're thinking about making the move, I'd love to help you find the perfect home. Give me a call, send me a message, or check out my website for the latest listings. Don't forget to like this video and ring the bell for more insights on Emerald Isle, real estate and living. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching.